Andy.
This is FDS NFL, Andy.
NFL, week 16, 15?
Week 15's in the books.
Yep.
We're heading into week 16 of the NFL season.
Yep. It's almost over for us Browns fans.
Almost over.
Almost. Counting the weeks.
Counting the weeks.
Yeah.
I wore my Kelly shirt this weekend.
I like that.
I decided, I wore my Josh jersey a couple times this year, and things just, the jersey needs to be broken in. It needs to be broken in. I've had this jersey for years, okay? Put this game on for the Steelers game. I said, I need to have luck this weekend, and I think it brought me luck.
It did. It worked out.
Brought me luck.
Definitely worked out.
But before we get into talking NFL,
let's do sponsors.
Let's do sponsors.
Yeah,
okay,
this episode is sponsored by, I thought you were going somewhere else.
No.
Moose Light. You need a beer, get a Moose Light. Why?
This stuff is scary good. I heard from young Mr. Scary today.
Did you? Good.
Yeah, I was at the Canada versus U.S. women's hockey game in Moncton last night.
Right.
And put a picture up on Facebook, and he asked me, he said, I hope you're drinking Moose Light.
Yeah.
My answer to you, Mr. Scary, is, of course I was drinking Moose Light. It's scary good.
There you go. I'm surprised you didn't run right to the concession stand to get one and take a picture.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, or Twisted Tea. You like that stuff,
I love
don't
the
you?
Twisted Tea, too. Yeah.
If you need a hat, shirt, uniforms for your team or whatever, go talk to our buddies, the Doyles, Doyle Corporate Image, DCI.com.
Doyles Rule.
The Doyles Rule.
Speaking of the Doyles,
yeah,
I saw Mr. Brett Doyle at the game last night. Coming out of the game, I was walking. He was there with his daughters to watch the game. Had a quick little chat with them about the Bills-Patriots game this weekend.
Yep.
He is one of the very first Patriots fans that I've spoken to that is of the realization things are on the decline in New England.
Okay. And
is very concerned about this week's game against the Bills.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. There's not too many Patriots fans willing to admit that yet.
Well, yeah, exactly. We're not really hearing a lot from Patriots fans right now. So when Patriots fans go silent, one of two things happened. Either they just lost and they don't want to talk about it, or they're nervous. Yeah.
All right. Andy, we got a big show this week, but before I get into the show, something crazy has happened once again in my life.
All right.
I got to tell you, listen, Jeannie's going to kill me for this. GiniB is going to kill me for this, but I have to let the cat out of the bag a little bit. Okay. As you guys all know, when I first started this podcast, it was really, it was an outlet for me because my wife had been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
And it was an outlet for me to kind of get my mind off of life.
Yep.
Right? And we've been doing this now for 4 years, four plus years. My wife was recently diagnosed with another form of breast cancer.
Yes.
More into the bones area. And the outlook on this cancer is not great. But my wife is a tank, positivity tank.
Yep.
And, I have no question that she's going to set the bar for, the standards of people looking up to what to expect in the future.
No doubt.
No question.
No doubt.
No question. Anyways, I'm going to try to do this with no emotional. So this morning, I had a presentation at work. I delivered a presentation, and during my presentation, I got a call from my wife. So right after the presentation was over, I went down to my office. I called her, and there was no answer. I sent her a message. She asked me if I was free for a call. I said, yeah. I get on the call, and right off the bat, there's a weepiness to my wife's voice.
Okay.
My wife is not a weeper.
No.
She's not a crier, Andy.
No.
It's very rare in the last 4.5 years that we've been going through this that I've seen even a tear from my wife. Okay. And she asks me a question. She says, the spontaneous trip you recently had with your brothers? Would you be willing to take a spontaneous trip like that with me? And I'm like, Jeannie, of course I am. But what are you talking about? I said, what are you talking? She says, this weekend. I said, well, hold on a second. My son is coming from Halifax to spend Friday night with us. I got 4 tickets booked to go to the new Star Wars release. Saturday, our good friend Tracy Lightfoot's coming over from the island. She's coming to watch the Bills-Patriots game with us on Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
She's spending the night. We got a packed weekend.
Yep.
I said, so what are you talking about this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
And she starts crying. I start crying.
Okay.
Her company, which is IGT Canada,
yes.
They have locations all across the world. They surprised her today with 2 corporate tickets to the corporate box to the Buffalo Bills at New England Patriots game this weekend.
Wow. Well, then obviously plans are changing.
Plans are changing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Caden. I've now shipped all 4 tickets over to him. He's taking a couple buddies with him to see the Star Wars movies. Tracy, we're going to have you here for another game, during the playoffs. And we're leaving for Boston Thursday night.
There we go.
Which Andy and I had a pre-conversation before this. Who's producing the video for the podcast this week?
Right. It was me.
It's you.
I hope I've impressed you so far. Yeah.
Anyways, that's our big news.
Well, that is exciting.
We're going to be in the corporate box at the Gillette Stadium. First question Jeannie asked him was, are we allowed to wear our Bills gear?
The answer better have been yes. And even if it wasn't yes, you were going to do it anyway.
We're wearing it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Anyways, it's gonna be a hell of a weekend. We don't know where we're staying right now. We don't have anything, and I mean anything. I just had prior to you calling, my good buddy Chris Wall, official here in New Brunswick. He called me. He's a huge Pats fan. Goes down for every victory parade. He's a huge Pats fan. I called him, said I need help with hotels, transportation. Tell me what I need to know, and he's working on it for me. So
there we go.
Yeah,
awesome.
There you go.
That is exciting. That's going to be fun to
3 games this year.
Follow you guys along. 3
games.
Well, and isn't there a 4th coming if you're in the playoffs?
Well, we've talked now that this game's on the go. We'll see about that wild card weekend because we were going to go most likely to Houston for the wild card weekend, but. We might take a couple weeks this spring and go to Florida and do some things we've never done in the state of Florida. Neither one of us have ever been there.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Let's talk some football.
That's exciting. All right. Well, with all that positive news, let's just get the Brown stuff completely out of the way.
All right, let's go Browns.
I'll try. We'll try to get this quick. Browns fall to the Cardinals in probably their worst game of the entire season. The defense it was the worst defensive effort that I had seen from them. They just laid down. I kind of knew it was going to happen, though. So thankfully, I bought in on a couple DraftKings with, why can't I think it's Kenyon Drake, the running back. And I started him in my fantasy. And we'll talk about my fantasy a little bit later, but I might be in the finals.
Nice.
And he absolutely destroyed the Browns. I knew this was coming. They're still not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, which is hilarious. But listen, I hope that was the nail in the coffin on the Freddie Kitchens experience. I still understand why they made this call. I'm hoping very much that general manager John Dorsey and ownership, because they made the decision together last time, can get together and go, clearly this was the mistake. Let's identify it as a mistake, and let's figure out what's going on. Because the players are running this team at this point. Yep. The players have too much power. Baker Mayfield has too much power, and he doesn't deserve it. And and a guy, one of my favorite analysts in Cleveland Browns, in the Cleveland Browns world, his name's Tony Grossi, and he actually used Buffalo as a great sort of comparison to. He says, look at Buffalo. Buffalo's exactly what the Browns want it to be this year. They're bringing their quarterback along really slow, and sometimes to the point where it frustrates you because you think that they're being too conservative. Yeah. But they're bringing them along really slow and winning at the same time. Yep. Where on the other side of things, the Browns were somehow convinced that Baker Mayfield was already Drew Brees, and he's drinking from the fire hose this year. And it's the complete opposite. So hopefully this is it. However, really quickly, I'll cover this off, Ray. Crazy enough, the Browns still have a 1% chance to make the playoffs. I think you already know that I'm not banking on any of this happening. Mm-hmm. I think you also know that I've given up on Freddie Kitchens. However, it scares me to say, if this happens, I think ownership and John Dorsey will maybe figure out a way to bring Kitchens back. So though I would love for this to happen, if it doesn't, it might be a blessing. So this week, the Browns have to beat the Ravens. That's obvious. Yeah. They've done that before, though most people have forgotten about that for obvious reasons. The Browns were the last team to beat the Ravens. The Jets need to beat the Steelers. It's doable. The Saints need to beat the Titans. Very doable.
Very doable.
And the Colts need to beat the Panthers. Very doable. Now, if all of that happens going into week 17, the Browns need to beat the Bengals. That's not a big feat.
Yeah.
The Ravens need to beat the Steelers. Now, I would have thought final week they might rest all their starters, but if they come off a loss to the Browns going into that Steelers game,
they could rest their starters this weekend.
They might, or
they got the first seed wrapped up.
There we go. So we'll see what happens there. The Texans need to beat the Titans, and the Colts need to beat the Jags. If all of those things happen, then the 2 wild card spots in the NFL would be Buffalo and Cleveland at 8-8. So if that happens, sure, I'll be happy. But I also, if it doesn't happen, I will take I'll take some happiness in the fact that I hope this is it for the Freddie Kitchens experience. Your thoughts?
My only thoughts on the game is this, and you kind of nailed it earlier, but Baker Mayfield puts the ball up 43 times in this game.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb gets the ball 17 times for 127 yards. Kareem Hunt touches the ball 4 times for 14 yards on rushing the ball.
Yeah.
My biggest question is, if you're getting that kind of production out of Chubb on 17 carries, why not give him the ball more?
So
give him the ball more.
We're going to double click on that in overreactions too.
Okay. 3-9-1 team puts up 38 points against the Browns. I'm just shocked.
The defense is just giving up.
But the biggest shock to me, listen, I've mentioned this guy's name earlier this year. This Jason Wish guy on Facebook.
Right.
He's friggin' hilarious.
Right.
Big Browns guy.
Yeah.
At all the games.
Yeah.
Funny as heck, this guy. But he brings up some great points in his recent Wish rant. It's called the Wish rant.
The Wish rant.
He says, earlier this year, the Browns are 4th and 9. They run a draw and get stopped. This time on 4th and 2nd with Chubb in the backfield, they decide to go for a field goal, and they miss the field goal. What the heck is Kitchens doing as a head coach? But the other thing he says is it's now 10 straight years of Browns with a losing record if they don't win the next 2 games.
Right. And then even then, it's still not a winning record. It'd be 500.
Right.
So it is 10 straight years. Not since 2007 have they had a win. So it's more than 10 straight years.
It all comes down. Listen, I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm going to talk a little bit more Browns in a few minutes. But it comes down to culture, and I don't think he's got the culture for this franchise.
Culture is just winning at the end of the day. It's a fancy word for winning, and he's not ready for this, and nothing that he does makes any sense. Thankfully, it's that time of year now. I've been through this year after year where the guys like Mike Silver come out and they find negative things or they make up negative things. All day today has been OBJ and Jarvis Landry in the press saying, we never said that. OBJ has come right out and said, I'm going to be here. I don't want to leave here. But so I'm so used to that stuff. But no, it is what it is. Like, this is another... I tweeted yesterday because Freddie Kitchens was on his press conference and he said, look, a lot of good things happened here. We have the league's leading rusher in Nick Chubb. We've got a 1,000-yard receiver, and we got another guy knocking on the door at 1,000. There's not a lot of teams in the league that can say that. So what? So what? That's the problem, is he's been focusing on these things all year instead of sacrificing some of those things to win at all costs. So that attitude right there was all I needed to see. That's why he's got to go. So, all right. Bills. Well, Andy, I was nervous as heck heading into this game because I am one of those Bills fans, and I've heard us being referred to on Twitter the last week or so. Actually, the last week, I've been one of those Bills fans that want to say the Bills are in, but I'm too nervous to say it because I know the Bills' history. Okay, I've been following the Bills for a long time. I know the Bills' history, and I just wasn't ready to call it a clinch yet. And then Pro Football sends out a article this week about how Delvin Hodges is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. I'm not sure if you saw it. Ray, you can find a story to tell you anything. I didn't see that, but that's pretty fun.
Pro Football put out an article.
PFF?
PFF put out an article
okay.
about how Delvin Hodges was a better quarterback than Josh Allen. And I was just really nervous heading into this game. I didn't want to put on my Josh Allen shirt, so I went old school, dug out the Kelly jersey, and said, let's go play some football.
All right.
I knew this was going to be a tight game. You knew two great defenses, and Pittsburgh's defense is fantastic. They are a good defense. And you know what? Our defense came out, and our defense is just one step above. And we're going to talk about this Pro Bowl voting later on in the show.
Okay.
Our defense had 4 interceptions, 2 of them by trade to Davius White.
Yes.
And one of them, he almost took it for a touchdown. There was some questionable play calling after that place. But Josh Allen, when all the chips were down, after the Steelers played their big song, The Renegade by Styx, to amp up their crowd, Josh Allen comes up, hits John Brown on a huge play-action pass downfield. Then Devin Singletary rips off an 18-yard run, and then the big pass. We had 3 receivers to the left of the formation. Tyler Kroft is all alone in the end zone. Touchdown. Game's over at this point. But it wasn't over.
If I was a Bills fan at that point, I was still very nervous.
This came right down to the wire due to some coaching and some some smarts on the football field. But that touchdown is what won this game for the Bills. It clinched them to the playoffs. What's really interesting, Tyler Kroft is such a big part of the puzzle because in 2017, when the Bills made the playoffs, don't forget, it was Andy Dalton that threw a touchdown pass to Tyler Kroft to get to the Bills into the end playoffs. Then Kroft gets another catch to get the Bills into the end zone or into the playoffs. Josh Allen gets another rushing touchdown. That's 9 on the season. That's a record, Andy. 9 is a record for the most rushing touchdowns by a QB in the NFL in a single season.
In all of the NFL?
In the NFL, yeah.
Jackson doesn't have 9 this year?
Jackson's at 7.
Oh, okay.
Deshaun Watson is at 7. And the next quarterback is Tannehill with 4.
That's my guy.
Yeah, 4.
All right.
5th seed is guaranteed. We'll talk a little bit later in the show about a possible divisional run.
Sure.
All right.
All
Here
right.
we go. Let's go on to what the...
Mine's real quick. Mine's that was pretty good. It sounded like a balloon. 49ers, man. I don't know how the 49ers let the Atlanta Falcons, with everything the 49ers have done this year, especially at home, and how much their defense is dominated, I have no idea how they managed to let the Atlanta Falcons go in there, beat them up on their home field. Screwed me up in the picks, screwed a lot of people up in the picks, except you. For whatever reason, you didn't think that was a gimme. And that's it. Like, to me, that's such a deflating thing. I'm sure the 49ers fans can just say, oh, well, they had to have a stinker coming. So hopefully they rebound a lot this week, but I'm floored that they allowed the Atlanta Falcons to do what they did at the home. So that's my WTF this week.
Mine, I'm going back to the Browns.
Okay.
And it's all about OBJ.
Okay.
We talked about OBJ last week and the drama that comes with him as a player, and we talked about him asking for trades. Remember? So in the press, after this week's game, he finally addressed the media. Did you see this?
Yeah.
So somebody in the media asked him about asking for trades to other teams. OBJ's response was, he stated, oh, yeah, I've asked for trades. I've been talking to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts up north, and I'm trying to see if I can get up there. And then he said, you know what? I'm just done with it. It's old. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. We're going to figure this thing out. My question is to this, OBJ, Mr. Drama.
Yeah.
Why go there? Why even go there? Why not just say no comment? Or how about next question?
Yeah.
Why drop the whole Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Toronto Argonauts, make a big production out of it? Just say next question or no comment. That's the difference between the Cleveland Browns in 2019 and the teams that make runs in the playoffs. You would never see the Patriots. You would never see teams that are making runs like this just create this drama throughout the season. Just no comment.
Yeah.
Next question. Let's go.
OBJ is not the kind of guy that will ever say that, because that doesn't keep his name in the news. And again, I've said this before, though. You know, I'm still impressed by how little drama he's caused. Like, this is nothing compared to what I was expecting. He's been dealing with a sports hernia apparently the entire season, so hopefully that has something to do with his poor performance. And next year, if he comes out swinging and everything's good, I'll be willing to put up with this. But you're right. I wish sometimes they would just directly answer the question or just shut up. So today
Did you actually hear the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Toronto Argos?
I didn't hear that part.
He did.
Nice.
Yeah. He dropped it. I couldn't believe it.
However, today I know that he's doubled down on it, and he said, it's too special here. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to leave. End it. So apparently he must have even gotten sick of himself.
Well, here's the ironic thing, and I didn't even script this. This is just coming to my head.
Okay.
It's ironic he brought up the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argos.
Right.
Because right now they are the farthest from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as possible, because they're Grey Cup champions.
Right.
And if anything, I would compare the 2019 Cleveland Browns to the 2019 Toronto Argos.
Oh, my gosh. I think they've won a few too many games for that, but... Yeah.
All right.
All right. What do you got for odds and ends?
Odds and ends. We got lots of odds and ends, Andy. Drew Brees passes Peyton Manning all-time touchdown throws with a 4-touchdown performance against Indy in New Orleans on Monday night. Yep. Did you see this game?
I saw some of it, and congratulations to Drew Brees. He's just a machine, especially in good weather. Yeah. And I think that's the key this year is they have to get home field advantage, because if they're making another Super Bowl run, it has to be in their home.
Well, I love Drew Brees. I love the guy. I love the person. And the other thing is, when they first showed the stats, it was during the Patriots game, and they showed Brady, Brees, and then Manning, and Brady was 1 touchdown pass behind Brees.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, we can't have Brady win this game. So the fact that Brees comes out and rips off 4 touchdowns, and Brady's got the Bills this week and Miami next week, who he typically struggles with, there's no chance that Brady's going to win this award, or, take over most touchdown passes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Panthers fans, Andy, I'm not sure if you heard about this. Panthers fans have started a GoFundMe page to raise funds for a billboard that is on one of the main highways in Carolina, trying to promote that the team should keep Cam Newton for 2020.
Okay.
Don't forget, Cam Newton's got a price tag of $18+ million heading into 2020. We've talked about this before. What are your thoughts now? Will Cam Newton be back with the Panthers in 2020?
It's hard to say. I think it's 50-50. I think it'll come down to who the new coach is and whether that new coach wants to have Cam Newton around. I really think that Cam Newton's most effective years are over, because his physical stature couldn't hold up, and them trying to protect Cam Newton and turn him into a pocket passer has turned him into a bit of a pedestrian quarterback. Now those are strong. That's it might not be, that might be overdoing it, but still. So I totally understand the Carolina fans' attachment to Cam Newton. If he's on, he's probably the type of guy that if he's on your team, you love him. Yeah. He's taken them to a Super Bowl, so I get it. I'm 50-50, right? It's going to come down to who the coach is, but it really feels to me like this owner and what he came out and said, like, this is a 5-year process. It'd be great if we could get everything right this first year and turn everything around, but that's unlikely. It really seems like he wants to hit a full reset.
Yeah, it's a full reset. He's gone. Cam Newton will not be in. He will not be with the Panthers next year. And I've got a team to throw out there as a possibility.
Okay.
The Colts.
The Colts.
Watch out for him with the Colts. Write that down.
There's potential there.
Okay.
Yep.
Pro Bowl voting was finished.
Well, the teams are announced too.
Teams were announced.
Yep.
The Bills being 10-4, the only player to make the Pro Bowl from the Bills is Tre'Davious White.
Yep.
He is an all-pro cornerback I saw the Browns had quite a few players on there.
Only 2 made the team.
Only 2?
Yeah, they had a bunch of guys. So Nick Chubb and Jarvis Landry made the team, and I mean the league's leading rusher and Jarvis Landry I think already has 1,200 receiving yards and 2 games to go. So they were very deserving. They had a bunch of alternates, like I believe OBJ somehow is an alternate. And a few of our defensive players are alternates. But I was surprised Joe Schobert was not on the team, who's top 3 in the league in tackles and has more interceptions than any linebacker. But only 2. I think it's a shame that the Bills only have 1 Pro Bowler. Last year they had none. And they were a good. Yeah. They were, but I think that just shows how good of a team they are versus the individual players on the team. Because if you look at the Bills roster, and I don't mean this as a shot at all, I can't really think of another player on his own that has just had the individual performances himself to be on the team. I can't think of anybody.
Milano is an outside weak linebacker. He's been fantastic. He's the guy that's chasing everything from sideline to sideline. Tremaine Edmonds, the second year middle linebacker. How about Micah Hyde and Poyer? As safeties, those guys are major standouts. I mean,
but if you look at the safeties who made it, if you look at the linebackers who made it, they just don't stand up individually. But you know what? Screw individually, right? And the Pro Bowl's stupid.
Teams first. Trust the process. Yeah, trust.
You're not gonna be watching the Pro Bowl, so don't even worry.
No,
about it.
I won't be. Daniel Jones is progressively improving with his ankle.
I think he's back in,
and he could. Hasn't been official yet, but he could start this weekend against the Redskins.
Might as well.
I mean, Eli just had a big win.
Yeah, let him go out on a victory. Yeah.
End his career that way?
Yeah, do it. Now, I don't know if he's going to end his career or not, but the way the speech went, like his whole family came down on the field with him after the game. Then he went in. Pat Shurmur gave him a game ball. Eli is not like kind of an aw shucks kind of guy. He's not big into those speeches and stuff, but he says there's nothing better than a locker room after a win. Like the way he handled it, very much
unbelievable.
Felt like a goodbye, like a this is it. And man, Eli might as well go out with a win because why would Eli want to be a backup quarterback anywhere at this point?
Yeah,
so
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars, watch out. All right, last but not least, Andy, your buddy.
My buddy?
Your pal.
My pal?
One of your favorite wide receivers in the league.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, what a shame.
Josh Gordon is gone again.
And this has to be it.
Is this it?
Well, I mean, this is the 3rd time he's been hit with the indefinite suspension. Yeah. Now, obviously, the last one wasn't as serious because the NFL was coming out right from the beginning saying, he'll apply for reinstatement or whatever. It's like they kind of like, look, we see you slipping, go get right. But now this is it. So, and I think it's a shame. He's one of the most purely talented wide receivers I have ever seen. It's a shame. I don't know if he's into substances that are way more severe. Really what he's tested positive for and what he's been in trouble with for his whole career is marijuana. The league has to come around on this. If that's all the kid needs to function and get over his anxieties and various things like that, there are way worse things. There's so many players in the league addicted to painkillers, you name it. It's a shame that this is what did it. But that being said, it's also a shame that, he's just completely powerless against this.
Well, the problem is with the states, Andy, is marijuana is not legal from state to state.
Yeah.
In Canada, for example, it's legal across the country, which is why I'm pretty sure I read an article recently that the CFL has dropped marijuana from their banned substances.
Major League Baseball did too, though.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the CFL did as well.
It's never been enforced big time in the CFL anyways, right?
But if anything, maybe Josh Gordon lines it up for the Montreal Alouettes this year.
Man, that would be exciting. I wouldn't care which CFL team he lined it up for. And maybe OBJ was trying to shine some light on the CFL just to give it some profile so Josh Gordon be willing to give it a try. I don't know. Love to see him up here.
The fact that OBJ said the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts, I loved it. I thought it was great.
He likes blue jersey, I guess.
There you go.
So that shows his allegiance to maybe the Giants and not the...
Oh, good one.
Yeah, who knows? All right. Is that it for odds and ends?
That's it for your odds and ends. Let's move over to some. We got to talk fantasy first.
Let's do overreactions first.
Okay,
and then we'll do fantasy. So tell me this. Tell me if we've been overreacting. Every week I come in here. Sorry that this is about the Browns again. Every week I come in here. I say, Ray, the Browns offense makes no sense. Freddie Kitchen defies all logic. They pass the ball way too much. They never run when it makes any sense. As of today, Nick Chubb leads the entire league in rushing at 1,408 yards. He leads by 80 yards, which is a good game's worth. So he's got a good shot at winning the rushing title. He's tied for second with 270 rushing attempts, and the first place guy, Derrick Henry, only has 271. So if you look at this, I keep going on and on about how the Browns don't run the ball enough, and Nick Chubb has the second most carries in the entire NFL and leads the league in rushing. Have I been overreacting? Because I don't feel like I've been overreacting. I just can't quite put my finger on what it is.
We just talked about it. He had over 120 yards on 17 touches. Yeah. Baker threw the ball 43 yards. That's not a balanced offense.
Right.
Give him the ball another 5-10 times.
Even though if you look at the league, he's got as many as everybody except one guy. So all I can say is this. Remember who was CJ2K? Chris Johnson?
Yeah.
Listen, if the Browns ran the ball as much as they should, Nick Chubb may be the new 2K. Yeah. So anyway, I saw that and I thought maybe I've been overreacting to the whole thing, and maybe it's just that he only runs the ball when it makes no sense to run the ball, and Nick Chubb's that good that he turns something out of it.
There you go.
Yeah. What's your overreaction?
I'm heading to Oakland with mine.
Okay. Yep.
After the Raiders' loss at home, they were booed off the field by the fans, Andy.
Yeah.
Gruden threw David Carr under the bus, Derek Carr, for his performance in the game.
Yep.
The owner, Mark Davis, almost slams Oakland with his comments after the game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw those.
Yeah.
I want to know if this is an overreaction. Are the Oakland Raiders fans going to be done with the black hole? Are they going to cross the bay and all become 49er fans with the way things went down?
I mean, maybe some of them will try, but I mean, we know that once you're faithful to a particular team, you can't just jump ship and choose another one. You'll never be a true fan. So my guess is most of them follow the Oakland Raiders and continue to be fans of the Oakland Raiders in Vegas, and the ones that don't just stop being football fans for a while, and that's a shame, but I don't blame them for being angry. It's a shame. It's like when the Browns left, right? Except, the Browns situation was way worse. At least they've known this was coming, and financially it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I totally get it. It was nothing like the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium when the Browns, that final Browns game, when the fans were like lighting firecrackers and ripping the benches out of the seats and everything like that. It was much more controlled chaos in Oakland than that. So.
But there was a lot of security in the stadium too.
That's true.
A lot of security in the stadium. I did pick up on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over to fantasy.
Okay.
Here's my statements about fantasy, Andy.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm out.
You're out.
Who's in the playoffs? I could care less.
Okay.
Who wins the championships? I could care less. I'm out. Okay. I'm all about 2020 now. I'm preparing for next year's draft. I could give a shit.
Woo!
Who wins the RBC League and the ITRZ League?
Okay, well...
Go ahead, Andy.
Well, as far as those particular leagues are concerned, I feel exactly the same way. I'll only talk about two leagues. The Jamie Drysdale Dynasty League. The way it works is if you didn't make the playoffs, you go into a lottery for the draft next year.
Oh, really?
If you did make the playoffs, then basically, however the people finish, like the champion is going to pick last, so on and so forth. However... the two teams that got exited in the first round of the playoffs, I happen to be one of those, had to play each other for the fifth pick. If you win the game, you get the fifth pick. And if you lose the game, you get the sixth pick. Well, I started pick, and I won by 30 points. So I got the fifth pick in the Dynasty League. Now, in one of my other leagues, one of my Yahoo leagues, for the second year in a row, I'm playing for a championship. This has been an interesting one. This is a league where I drafted a lot of really good wide receivers early. I was a little thin. I had one really good running back in Mark Ingram because not a lot of people were drafting him where he deserved to be. And then I've kind of been floating Devin Singletary, different guys as my second running back, and I picked Big Ben late in that draft. So I've been kind of scrambling, picking up quarterbacks to, off the waiver, trying to get them ahead of time. And Ryan Tannehill, I got him before everybody else. And Ryan Tannehill has brought me to the championship game. It's a very even matchup when you look at the projected points. I'm going to give you my lineup super fast, what my team looks like. If you have any advice, throw it out there. I'm starting Tannehill no matter what. My backup quarterback was Derek Carr, but I've since dropped him and picked up Fitzpatrick, just in case. Just in case I want a little Fitz magic, but I don't think I'll go there.
Yeah.
My wide receivers, Michael Gallup of Dallas, Devontae Adams, and Tyreek Hill are my starters. I've got Will Fuller on the bench, and I think he might go in for Gallup, though I'm not sure because they're expecting good things for Gallup against the Eagles.
Yeah.
My running back, Mark Ingram, and I've got Kareem Hunt, who I picked up late in the draft, who's now coming on. But I also have Montgomery, the starter for the Bears. I've been starting Hunt over Montgomery. I might go back to Montgomery for this game.
Yep.
Because Hunt's playing the
Ravens.
The Ravens. In my tight end situation, I drafted Evan Ingram, and he's been just an injury disaster.
Yeah.
He's now on IR. So today I made a bunch of moves. I dropped Robbie Anderson, who was a guy I had. I picked up Gesicki, the tight end for Miami.
Yeah.
And I also picked up, what's his name? The Titans guy. Jonnu Smith, I think it is. And he's a guy that I've been starting.
Tight end?
The tight end.
Yes.
In other leagues. So I'm probably going to go with Jonnu Smith. The Bills' defense is a defense that I drafted in this. However, I also picked up the Colts, as they're expected to have a lot of fantasy points against the Panthers, and I'm deciding between starting the Bills against the Patriots or starting the Colts. But that's my team. These are the decisions that I'm trying to figure out, and I'm glad I was able to get a couple of okay tight ends just to put one in there, but it's going to come down to the wire.
It's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah. Now, here's my saving grace, though. Mark Ingram is a Raven. Who's he facing this week?
Cleveland Browns.
He's probably going to have 200 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Unless Lamar keeps the ball.
Yeah, unless Lamar keeps the ball. So let's hope we'll see what happens.
But with them already locking up the first seed like we talked about, my guess is Lamar's going to be handing the ball off. There you go.
Let's hope so. And they want revenge. The last team to beat the Ravens was the Browns. In Baltimore.
Yeah.
So they want to come into Cleveland and cause some problems.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Picks.
Let's do our picks.
Ray, you had a great week in picks. You went 5-0. You picked
5-0.
You picked the Ravens. You picked the Eagles. You picked the Chiefs, the Pats, and Bills as your upset. I went 3-2, so I've fallen behind you by 3 games.
Three games.
I still can't. The Raiders didn't come through for me, and I picked the Bills as my upset as well. I went back and watched the end of our last show just to make sure I got your picks right. And that Bills game, basically, when I said I'm picking the Bills because this is going to be a battle of 2 defenses, and your offense isn't going to have to do too much, just enough. That's exactly how the game went.
Exactly.
And I picked the 49ers, man, which is why WTF was 49ers this week. But anyway, so you are now 52-23, 6-9 in your tiebreak, and I'm 49-26. So I got to start getting crazy the way you did in CFL. Cameron also went 3-2 like me. He picked the Bills not even just as an upset as one of his picks, but he also nailed his upset. He picked the Cowboys, so he did pretty good. But Titans 49ers let him down. So all right, picks now because I'm behind by 3. I mean, is it all right that I insist that you make your picks first?
Yes, I'll go first.
Let's go.
You can see I wrote down a bunch of games this week.
Yeah, so we get. I can't wait to listen to you think your way through this one.
Whoa! All right, here we go. Ravens at the Browns. Hold on here. I gotta. Where's KC at the Chicago Bears?
Okay.
This is a big game for KC because they're hoping they get ahead of New England for that 2nd seed. So I'm gonna go KC in that game. Cards at the Seahawks. I gotta take Seattle in that game.
Okay.
Texans Bucks. I'm staying away from that game. I do not like this game for the Texans.
It's gonna be a shootout.
Yep. Saints at the Titans. I also don't like this game because the Saints have already clinched their division. They're not moving anywhere.
The Titans are dangerous.
I'm staying away from there. Giants at the Redskins. Boy, oh boy, if Daniel Jones is starting, I almost want to go Drew Haskins here to beat Dwayne Haskins to beat the
Daniel
Giants.
Jones. Yeah. What do you think? You can do it?
Steelers at the Jets.
Steelers at the Jets.
Is the Duck going to rebound? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to take the Steelers there.
Okay.
That's a must-win for the Steelers if they're going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
So I've got 3. I got one more, and then I got my upset.
One more and an upset. Yep.
Help me out, people. Help me out. Raiders and Chargers.
That's
both those teams. That's a bum game. I'm not touching that game.
One stinks.
Rams 49ers. Is there playoff implications here for the 49ers? What's going on? They're now
the 49ers are locked into the 2 seed, so there's no way that they'll come out of it, I don't believe. Or wait, no, Seattle and the 49ers are both 11-3. And the Saints are 11-3, so they got to win.
They've got to win.
They got to win, but the Rams also have a chance to there's wild card implications for them. So both teams want to win this.
Both teams need to win this game. Cowboys Eagles.
Yeah,
I mean that's
Move
a
your
crap
mouse
game.
there. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Cowboys Eagles. That's a real crap game as well.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go 49ers.
Okay.
And with my upset.
Yep.
While I'm in while I'm in New England, Andy.
Excellent.
Yelling from some corporate box that I hope Tom Brady. Oh, can I just tell this quick story?
Sure.
All right. Way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kansas City Chiefs roll into Buffalo in a playoff game.
Yep.
I saw Bruce Smith end Joe Montana's career. Never played another down in the NFL.
Okay.
A few years ago, Jeannie and I flew out to Minnesota to see Brett Favre play against the Buffalo Bills. Arthur Moats, 4th play of the game. Brett Favre never played another down in the NFL.
Okay.
We're heading down together this weekend to New England.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see 2 things.
Okay.
In New England, in Gillette Stadium, in my Bills gear.
Yeah.
I want to see Tom Brady's career come to an end against the Buffalo Bills. And to top it off in New England, I want to nail the 50-50.
Wow.
We're getting our tickets for free. I'm putting $100 into the 50-50, Andy.
Wow.
And I want to nail that 50-50 as a Bills fan in New England. It will be fantastic.
Okay.
And with that, I'm taking my Bills to upset the Patriots in New England.
I like it. All right. I'm going to take the Ravens to beat the Browns. I think that's an absolute no-brainer. Now, don't be offended by this pick, okay? Because I don't want this to happen. I actually feel like me making this pick is going to increase the chances of the opposite happening for you. I'm taking the Patriots to win the game. It's a crazy ploy to come back.
It's a no-brainer. You got to go against me. You're down 3 games.
Well, exactly. I'm taking the Seahawks. I'm taking the Falcons. And as an upset, I'm going to go Giants over Redskins.
Okay.
As my upset. So,
wow.
Those are my picks.
There you go. Well, listen, Andy, before we get out of here, I have to tell you this.
Okay.
I am very, very disappointed in myself.
Okay.
Very disappointed in myself. Before this season started, we made some predictions on our team's records heading into the season.
We did.
And I'm way off. Way off.
Well, I only predicted the Bills record. I never made a prediction of the Browns record.
Yes, you did.
No.
You didn't?
Never did. Never did. But I was way off on the Bills record.
Well, I predicted the Browns to go 8-8.
You did.
The odds of them going 8-8 right now is not great.
Not great. No.
I predicted the Buffalo Bills to go 10-6, Andy.
I don't remember that, but yeah, good.
I did. I predicted them to go 10-6.
Good. I thought we only played the schedule game for each other's team, so I didn't know this prediction that you have tucked away.
You predicted the Bills 6-10. In that same video, I picked them 10-6.
Got it.
Huge disappointment because they're 10-4 with the Patriots and the Jets at home. I'm off on that one too.
You are.
Terrible year for me.
Yeah.
Terrible year for me as a Bills fan.
Yeah.
I just want to end the show on that note.
Okay. Well, let's just end it.
All right. We will give you a report next week on our trip to New England. GiniB just walked into the studio. When she hears the story that I gave, she's going to kill me. But
I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right.
Okay.
Keep an eye on their Twitter feeds this weekend. I will be.
Keep an eye on the Twitter feeds, Facebook posts. There will be lots this week. We're going to New England.
And with that, like, comment, and subscribe and all that stuff. Bye-bye.